It is a milestone 30th year anniversary in the WNBA, and today a huge tip-off Saturday begins with a fascinating opening season matchup between the Dallas Wings and the Indiana Fever. The last four number one overall picks are on display today in Indiana, the state where basketball is so very important. The Fever with legitimate championship dreams this season, taking on a Dallas team that looks to improve mightily behind a couple of new and fresh faces, along with already standing veterans. It's Dallas and Indiana to start our WNBA season. And hello, one and all, I'm Matthew Owens, and welcome to Indiana. Thanks for having us in for the WNBA. It is tip-off Saturday, of course, 3 games last night to start the WNBA season, but we are so excited for Dallas and Indiana to get our season started here on the channel. And yeah, the headline, of course, is the last 4 number one overall picks on these rosters. On Indiana's side, Aaliyah Boston and Caitlin Clark, number one overall picks in 2023 and 2024, respectively. Dallas has owned the number one overall pick the last 2 years. Last year they took Paige Beckers. This year they took Azzi Fudd, 2 tremendous UConn superstars. There are existing seasoned veterans on these 2 rosters as well. These 2 teams very well could be in contention for playoffs this year. That's the hope for Dallas, who went a league worst 10-34 last year, tied with Chicago for the worst record in the W. They hope that they can make a leap towards the top 8, at least contend to make the playoffs. For Indiana, they're a team that made the playoffs and won a series in the postseason last year, despite Caitlin Clark missing all but 31 games. She and Sophie Cunningham are healthy to start this season after missing most of last year, along with Boston and the likes of Kelsey Mitchell. This Indiana team could very well be a squad primed to make a deep run towards a championship. Seth Eves and JT here with me today. And Seth, this is something new for us, not only on this channel, but on our past platform. We're excited, though. It's a big season for the W, and it could be a big, not only anniversary celebration season, it could be a very entertaining and transitional season for the W.
Yes, season number 30. A lot of veterans looking to continue to stake their claim as the best players, and a lot of young new faces, as Matthew mentioned. We even had some go last night. We'll talk more about that later, about Lauren Betts, the number one overall pick in Washington. Be interesting to see how she does. Some new faces in new places. But as mentioned here, it's 2 teams that had losing records in the regular season last year. But as Matthew mentioned, one had a good ending. Indiana made a good run in the playoffs under head coach Stephanie White. Meanwhile, Jose Fernandez and Dallas struggled again. That allowed them to get Azzi Fudd, the dynamic duo from UConn, Fudd and Beckers, against Clark and Boston, the dynamic duo from Indiana. You throw in Sophie Cunningham as well on the Indiana side. We've got a lot of star power for season 30 of the WNBA. And will one of these teams step up into that next tier? Many people think it's Las Vegas and the Pack. The New York Liberty also expect to be in the mix, but who knows what's going to happen. Entertaining, I think, is the right word. And, it's funny. Now, no surprise that we originate a month of May broadcast from Indianapolis, but, Matthew, aren't you normally at the Speedway? Why are you here at the Fieldhouse? This is kind of mixed, and I'm supposed to be calling in. If I'm calling a women's basketball game, it's me. What's going on here? What kind of messed up society are we in? This is a new one, that is for sure. But yes, big month in Indiana. The Speedway, of course, ready to go. But the Fever, they've got the fever for the Fever. Will year 3 of Caitlin provide a magical, unforgettable season? That is the question that will be asked. And it's the Stars and the Fever, and well, we're not technically in the South, but let's hope for some performances today, Matthew Owens. That would be worth 3 whoopies and a hot damn. Back to you, Matthew, as we get ready for year 30 of the W.
Yeah, we are ready to go. JT is here with us, ready to vibe with us throughout the day. He's got many voices in his head. We'll talk to one of his voices here shortly.
He just heard Keith Jackson for the first time in his life, probably an impression of him.
Yeah, we're excited for this one. We're excited for the season, and it's Indiana and Dallas to get it started. Starting lineups for Dallas to start: Odyssey Sims, the 33-year-old veteran now, who was first drafted some 12 years ago by the Tulsa Shock, in the lineup along with Paige Beckers, national champion at Notre Dame, Arike Ogunbowale, Jessica Shepard, and Alana Smith from Australia. Rounds out the lineup for Jose Fernandez, who spent a quarter of a century as the head coach of the South Florida women's basketball program, took them to the NCAA tournament 10 times, twice a Coach of the Year in the American Conference. And for Stephanie White, out of Danville, Illinois, in her 6th season as a WNBA head coach, she sends out her first starting lineup of the year with, of course, Caitlin Clark, the Rookie of the Year from 2 seasons ago, Kelsey Mitchell, Sophie Cunningham, who only played 30 games last year due to injury, Maisha Hines-Allen, a second-round pick out of Louisville 8 years ago, and Aaliyah Boston, one of the best defensive players in all of the WNBA. Those are the lineups, and we are ready to go. From the field house in Indiana, we are underway. The tip controlled by the Fever, wearing red, and WNBA Season 30 is off and running. Kelsey Mitchell, off left wing, takes a step inside the arc and launches a long two-point jumper in the mid-range, and it is good to get Indiana's scoring started. Here's the Wings from Dallas, 10-34 last year, as we mentioned, tied with Chicago for the worst record in the WNBA. They attack to our left, and here is Paige Beckers. High screen comes from Jessica Shepard. They blitz Beckers with a double, so to get it out of her hands, and they find Ogunbowale out of the right corner. Rainbow 3 misses badly. Offensive rebound, though, is kept alive. Back up top, Beckers loads up a 3 and knocks it down. Paige Beckers from the top of the key knocks down the triple. She was 33% from three-point range last year. A steal at the other end by Shepard. 2-on-2 the other way as Shepard leans in through transition. Can't get it to fall, and here's the Fever back the other direction as the feed cuts back and forth on us. That's terrific. Here's Caitlin Clark, outside right. Jitterbugs to the top of the circle. 19-foot jumper misses around the rim. Rebound Dallas. Here come the Wings one more time, and a pull-up 3 off right wing misses. And it's Indiana with the rebound. Sophie Cunningham the other direction. Drifts to her left, feeds the wing. Clark tries to dump it inside for Boston, and she is fouled on the interior. Aaliyah Boston will draw a lot of fouls. She will commit a lot of fouls herself as well. But Boston is one of the great players in this league. Inbound far side front court as it was not in the act of shooting. Clark gets it in. Fumbled into the far left corner. Cunningham centered for Boston. Back for Clark. She'll drive downhill. Between the pipes to the rim, Clark goes and lays it in with the right. Finger rolls it in off glass. It's 4-3 Indiana. Dallas back on offense and around a screen. Ogunbowale gets to the foul line. Pops a jumper too strong. Rebound knifed out of bounds. Last off the Fever, who wear bright red uniforms with white numbers and trim here this afternoon. Dallas in bright blue with white numbers and green trim. Clark's first field goal of the year coming on that downhill up the middle drive. On the inbound underneath, they just get it in to Ogunbowale off the right lane line. Works her way inside, and her fadeaway jumper over a defender is good. And it's 5-4. The Wings in front. Clark, a long straightaway 3 doesn't go, but a whistle first. And a foul going against the Fever away from the ball. Again, the Fever at 24-20 last year. They were over 500 for the first time in 10 years and won a playoff series first round against Atlanta, an Atlanta team that promises to have a good season this time around. Here's Alana Smith up top, directs it right. Agumbawale, hip-high dribble, shovels it into the right corner. Smith on the spin move, works her way inside and banks it up and in on the strong drive. Indiana running quickly, and they beat Dallas down the floor. Maisha Hines-Allen behind the defense lays it in, and a quick two in transition for Indiana. Here's Shepard up top, makes a move quickly, zigzagging right to left. Draws a foul on the floor from the top of the arc. Indiana, a high-scoring team last year. They ranked third in the WNBA in scoring offense at 85 points per game, and that's where Dallas struggled so much, is allowing points. They were last in the league in scoring defense. The inbound pass was nearly turned over, run down by Agumbawale, who got it back to the outside, and a right wing three is knocked down. And that three-pointer hit by Odyssey Sims extends the Dallas lead. Here's a left baseline drive and a reverse layup that hung on the right side of the rim and falls in for Indiana's Kelsey Mitchell. Here's Dallas the other direction. Agumbawale racing it up the floor quickly. Bounce pass into the lane for Shepard when it goes off a leg. Out of bounds it will stay with the Wings. As mentioned, last in the league in scoring defense last year. They gave up 88 points per game to Dallas. On the inbound, it's Sims. Left-handed dribble. Looping pass into the left corner met by Agumbawale, but there was a whistle first. And an illegal screen will turn it back over to the Fever. It was committed by Smith from Tasmania, Australia. First year with Dallas after spending the last couple of seasons with Minnesota and the Lynx. Maddie Siegrist into the game for the first time for Dallas. Jose Fernandez making a substitution, his first on the inbound. Clark, a blow-by drive in from the right and draws contact and a foul. It's going against Siegrist, who has only been on the floor for maybe 5 seconds. But an early foul against her. Fourth-year player out of Villanova. Talk about all the former number 1 overall picks in this game. Siegrist was a high draft pick in 2023 by Dallas. Number 3 overall out of Villanova, hails from Poughkeepsie, New York. Caitlin Clark at the free throw line. First is good. We know about Caitlin Clark's superstardom, but only 13 games last year due to multiple injuries, and really the injury and the precaution as she hits the second free throw that kept her out for the remainder of the season was just some soft tissue damage that they did not want to risk making any worse by playing the rest of the season. But it's an Indiana team that really gelled well even in her absence, as Beckers tried to put it on the deck, then launched it to the right wing, and a three from the far side is down again for Odyssey Sims, who's hit a couple from distance already. Dallas leads 13-10. Clark behind a Boston screen. Backpedals outside left. Slings it to Boston on the perimeter and bounces it down the lane for a driving Kelsey Mitchell to gobble up and lay in on a down-the-pipes drive. Dallas the other way. And Agumbawale got it to Sims, who charged down the lane, throws up a wild runner off glass, no good. Rebound Indiana. Here comes Clark. High, hard, right-handed dribble, swings it to the right elbow. Boston spins her way inside up the baseline. Launches one over the top of Shepard's defense, and it rolled around the rim. It would not go. Rebound Dallas. Here comes Beckers. Beckers, the UConn star, centers it up top. Siegrist is left alone to launch a three off back iron. Rebound was taken by Maisha Hines-Allen, a champion in 2019 with Washington. Clark the other way. Gets through traffic. Swirls back to the outside. Boston feeds it out of the left corner. A long rainbow three won't go. Weak side offensive rebound scooped up by Hines-Allen, and the putback is good off glass. Indiana's back in front. Nearing the midway point of this first quarter. Dallas on the ball. Outside left and hanging on the wing. Agumbawale centers just inside the foul line, and a lean-in jumper goes down for Siegrist. Siegrist at just under 13 points per game last year. Only played Indiana once last season, but scored 22 points in that game. Step back, up top three. Clark misses, line drive short. Rebound Sims, long outlet Agumbawale, stops on the left wing, now pulls back with a jumper for three. Glass and rim miss. Rebound lassoed in by Boston and outletted hard. And here comes Indiana the other direction, and in from the right, scooping it up and in off glass is Kelsey Mitchell. Mitchell with the driving layup. Indiana loves to get in transition like that, either off a make or a miss. Mitchell's got half of Indiana's first 16. Siegrist finds Beckers cutting in off the right baseline. Pull-up jumper right of the lane goes down. Paige Beckers swings the lead back in Dallas's possession at 17-16. Long stretch here without a whistle. You got 3 Fever players at the scorer's table set to check in at the next whistle. 2 for Dallas. Clark looped a pass to the right wing Boston. Return for Clark. Stopped on a dime. Got it to the left elbow for a lean-in push shot that would not go. Too strong off glass from Hines Allen. Rebound Dallas. Up the other way they come. Sims to set the offense. Centered ball Siegrist. Drifts right on the wing. Fakes a handoff. Drives it in. Herself goes to the rim and pushes it up. Through contact, it won't fall, but she draws a foul on Maisha Hines Allen, and that will finally lead to the game's first stoppage in play. Really, really strong fluidity to start this one, as it's Dallas up on Indiana 17-16. It is tip-off Saturday in the WNBA. We are excited about this WNBA season. As we talked about, it is year 30 of the WNBA, which for so many people that is so hard to believe. And Seth, we're excited to do some games out of this league. First time for us, new channel, no off season, that's what we love to say. And we're going to attack the WNBA this year. We're going to have a lot of fun doing it.
We are, yeah, and the pace to this game is pretty electric. Zigzag back and forth. Obviously, Beckers is having a good go of it. Haven't seen a whole lot from Fudd, to be fair, but Agumba Wally is really stepping it up, and that's good for Dallas fans to see, to have a veteran help out your youngsters. And obviously, Indiana, Clark's doing, not scoring, but she is doing a good job, facilitating and passing the ball. Then it gets lost in some of her, her highlight reel shots, that she can do a good job with with passing the basketball, and they're moving it really well. And I tell you, I can say it's back and forth, it's fast, and we're having a grand old time here. And again, this is something I just find hard to believe that we're doing here. The W.
Well, as we said, we are very excited for it. And no doubt about it, this could be a big season for the WNBA. We know about how the sport of women's basketball has just taken off so much the last handful of years. Caitlin Clark, an enormous reason for that. But it's more than just Caitlin. Caitlin is the biggest reason, most people would say. And I know, there's conversations to be had that we're not going to have here on this channel about Caitlin Clark and the rest of the WNBA, and how the conversation has gone the last couple of years since she entered into the league. But she's done so much for the sport. But as we've talked about, there are so many great young stars. Beckers, of course, is one of the shiniest stars of the bunch coming into this league over the last couple of years. Beckers had a great season. Was, of course, voted Rookie of the Year. She was also an All-Star last year as a rookie, and was 5th in the league in scoring at 19 points per game. Out of this timeout, free throws coming here for Dallas. And the first free throw goes down for Jessica Shepard, making it 18-16, the Wings in front. Clark and Cunningham, along with Boston, all on the bench here for Indiana out of the timeout. So a cycle change for Stephanie White. Second free throw will not fall, and the rebound was taken by Indiana's Damiris Dantas. 11th-year player out of Brazil, was a first-round pick in 2012 by Minnesota. So second unit on, if you will, here for Indiana. Here is Dantas off the right elbow. Bounce pass inside on a backdoor feed. Raven Johnson, highly picked rookie out of South Carolina, lost it. Dallas away with the takeaway, and Siegrist out of the left corner throws up a three. Swirling miss. Rebound popcorn around. Michaela Timpson finds it for the Fever, and out comes Indiana jetting into the front court. They love to go quickly. Off the right baseline, here is Johnson, now backpedaling beyond the three. She was the number 10 overall pick. She dumps it off on the left baseline, leaning into a contested jumper off glass. Timpson could not hit out of the scramble. It's Dallas with the rebound, snapped ahead in transition. No one found Jessica Shepard in transition, and she gets an easy layup underneath the cylinder. 3 minutes to go in this first frame, a 20-16 Dallas lead. Kelsey Mitchell for Indiana. Off the top of the key, cuts in from the left, climbs the blocks and scoops it up and in over the defense of Siegrist. Mitchell with the field goal. She's got 10 of Indiana's 18 now. Azzi Fudd is into the game for the first time for Dallas. The number 1 overall pick swings it to her left. Siegrist directs it to the foul line. No-look feed by Shepard. Finds off the right wing an open three-point shooter, and Siegrist knocks it down. 4-3 of the quarter for Dallas. And it's 23-18. Fever back on the ball. Attacking from our left to our right. Michaela Timpson up top. Hands it off. Johnson took a look at a three, then bounced it inside. Timpson fakes left, spins right, kicks it out on the wing. Dantas up and down for three. Indiana's first three-point hit, and it's the Brazilian Dantas with the hit from downtown. Inbounds pass by Siegrist was knifed out of bounds by Dantas. Dallas will inbound it again. Indiana, as a team, loves to shoot the threes, or at least they have the last couple of years. Shot just under 35% as a team from beyond the arc last year. That was 4th best in the WNBA. Off the inbound, here comes Dallas. Into the front court, Odyssey Sims will set the offense. Switches hands on the dribble right to left. Directs a bounce pass on the wing. Thrown in by Isaiah James to the inside. She was looking for Lee Ueru, but there's a foul first, going against Indiana on the floor. Under 2 minutes to go here in this first quarter. Inbound near side front court, triggered into the left corner. Sims brings it back outside. Now she locates James, who was able to work it inside nicely and cutting in towards the rim. Lieru lays it in for two. Fever back on the ball, outside left. Dantas with a handoff. Outside left on the wing. Alexi Hall knifes her way in. Comes out in the near right corner. Now back into that red paint. Hall falling away. Took some contact. Jumper wouldn't go. There was no whistle. Ball ends up out of bounds. It's going to stay with Indiana. Shot clock's at 5. I don't think we've mentioned the shot clock a single time today. We haven't needed to. Clark will check back in for Indiana. Dallas is into the bonus for the last minute and change of this first quarter. So Indiana's got to operate quickly here with 5 on the timer. Hall sets a screen, inbounded Clark up the left baseline, dumps it down underneath. Johnson got a good look but had it blocked. And was there a foul called first, however? Clark driving left baseline. Fudd came over to help defensively, and she was able to swing it across the lane for Johnson, who did rise up into contact from Siegrist, and it is a foul going against Siegrist and Dallas. Raven Johnson, first-round draft pick out of South Carolina. What a program Don Staley has put together there over the last handful of years. Johnson knocks down the first free throw. She was a 10-point-per-game scorer last season for South Carolina, along with 4 rebounds and 5 assists per game, and she was the SEC Defensive Player of the Year. Hits the second free throw and goes 2 for 2. Of course, South Carolina, a great defensive team last year. Cutting in from the right, throwing up a wild shot on the drive. Sims misses off glass. Rebound Indiana. Clark had it stripped. Oh my goodness, a pocket pick by Sims, who's all alone in transition and banks it in on the move. Odyssey Sims with thievery on Caitlin Clark, who brings it back the other way. Sims with an 8-point quarter. Dallas with a 27-point first quarter, and we've got a whistle. I thought maybe an Indiana timeout, but no, we've got an illegal screen away from the ball. And a foul going against the Fever, and it's another Indiana turnover. They turned it over 13 times a game last year. Did Indiana. Both teams over the limit. Dallas inbounds and up the floor Sims swings it left. Fudd got bumped, goes down. There was no whistle. She collapses on top of the ball, and a jump ball is called. So it'll be a jump ball as Azzi James was able to get on top of the ball, contested by Johnson. And with the shot clock at 11, a jump ball between Johnson and Azzi James. From Virginia Beach. Ball in the air and tapped to the far side by Indiana and controlled by Clark. And up the floor she comes with long strides. Off left wing, Sims tried to punch it away again, but gets called for a reach-in foul. And Clark will get free throws with both teams over the limit. So free throws coming up for Clark and Indiana. These two teams have really been working the scoreboard here in this first quarter. 27-23, as you can see. And Clark, a terrific free throw shooter, knocks down the first. Talk a little bit at halftime with Seth Eves, who did so many of Clark's college games, about just how this sport has taken off so much because of her, as she makes the second free throw, and Dallas will bring the ball up the floor with about a 2-second difference between shot and game clock. Sims into the front court, drifts to her right, Gainbridge Fieldhouse logo, now slashes back left. Sims with space drives in for the left floater, left-handed, glass and rim miss, battle for the rebound, and a whistle comes in with 8 seconds left in the quarter. And it's going against Dallas. Sims went airborne and collided into Maisha Hines-Allen. That's an offensive foul by Sims. So Indiana to inbound near side backcourt. Boston will get it in for Clark with 8 seconds to work with. Clark right-handed dribble across midcourt with 5. Clark looking for space, steps back, long 30-foot three at the buzzer off the heel. And that ends the first quarter with Dallas up 27-25. Into the first quarter, 52 combined points in the first frame. Paige Beckers hit a three early on. Clark with a driving layup, but a lot of the role players on both teams shining brightly on this WNBA tip-off Saturday. End of one, Dallas by a deuce, as we get our WNBA season off and running here on the channel, Seth.
Indeed. Yes, indeed, as we are on the run here, getting off and running, as you mentioned. Of course, big day across the WNBA. We'll talk a little bit at halftime about the games today and a look at the season in general as we look ahead to this 30th season. Of course, the season began last night, as Matthew mentioned, with 3 games, including the brand new Toronto team losing a nail-biter, 68-65 to the Washington Mystics. How about the Liberty last night? They routed Connecticut 106-75. Breanna Stewart with 31 points and 10 rebounds. And Golden State began year 2 with a 91-80 win in Seattle. Veronica Burton had 16 for the Valkyries in that one. Of course, 3 games later tonight, Phoenix is at Vegas, Atlanta at Minnesota, and Chicago at the brand new Portland Fire. That'll be a great atmosphere in Portland tonight as they get their WNBA franchise up and running. But your thoughts on the first quarter of this one, Mr. Owens, as we have, it's been as fun as we expected.
Yeah, it has. And as we've talked about, really good pace, which is something that you can really always rely on in women's basketball, both on the college and professional level. It's really good pace. It's a really well-played game. I think so many people have learned over the last few years that the women's game it's played differently than the men's game, and what makes it so different is it's not just stand around and chuck up a bunch of threes. Paging you, folks in Boston. It's really a good brand of game.
It really is. It's really It really is. It's fun to watch, obviously. And now we're getting a taste the professional level here. We're doing these games. Yeah, it'll be interesting to watch. Of course, it was an interesting off season, and now we're getting ready for the actual season here of the WNBA. Of course, some of these players didn't have an off season because they played in the early winter in the Unrivaled League. So, yeah, very, very fun stuff. And Tamika Catchings among the famous dignitaries in attendance today. Great legend, not just with Indiana, but of course the University of Tennessee. David Letterman is in the crowd as well. That's not Santa Claus, that's David Letterman. And Tyrese Halliburton. What the Halliburton is he doing here? He's watching women's basketball. That's what he's doing. So back we go in Indianapolis. Stephanie White's Fever, Indianapolis, which is the state capital of Indiana.
Yeah.
And we go back now to Matthew Owens for the second quarter. I was about to say second half, second quarter of this one.
Thank you, Seth, as Dallas will inbound and bring the ball up the floor from our right to our left to start this second quarter. Odyssey Sims, big first quarter, swings it to her left. Now it's looped into the corner, taken there by Fudd, who was scoreless in her first quarter of play. Isaiah James drives down the lane, running floater, leaks off the left side of the rim. Rebound gobbled up by Hines Allen, but her snap pass in transition misses Clark, ends up in the hands of Stephanie White, who could play very well, but she's not a player today. And that's an Indiana transition turnover. White, of course, a national champion at Purdue in her playing days in college. Inbound up top to be taken by Sims, who swings it to her right. Fudd drives baseline, wraps it outside to James. Now back to Sims, up high. Three clatters off the rim, no good. And then Fudd trying to get an offensive rebound, stepped on the end line, so it'll belong to Indiana. Yeah, of course, Seth talking about no offseason for some of these players. For players like Raven Johnson and Azzi Fudd, played in the Final Four, which was basically just a month ago. Then they get drafted and have to learn their teammates, learn their coaches, and learn the WNBA style of play as Boston dishes down low. Wild shot thrown up high off the glass, no good from Cunningham, who was falling down. Rebound Dallas, the other way James, down the lane she goes. Running floater missed short, rebound popcorns around, and Segrist nearly runs into the Indiana bench trying to save it from going out. It's out to Indiana. 57 seconds gone by here in this second quarter. Fever up the floor from our left to our right. Again, bright, vibrant red uniforms, white numbers and trim. Clark off left wing, defended by Fudd. There's a great matchup there. Clark drives in for the left, got doubled, swung it around to Hines Allen, who triggered it into the right corner. And Sophie Cunningham makes it rain from distance as Cunningham puts down a corner pocket three. Dallas back on offense. Segrist out to her left, directs it up top. Alana Smith feeds the right wing where it's dribbled to the foul line by James. Back to Smith, works her way inside through a double. Missed the first shot, got it back, and then missed the second off glass. Rebound Clark. Fever in transition. Dallas gets back defensively. Clark off the top of the key. Turns it to her right. Hines Allen, whistle, and a foul away from the ball going against Dallas and against Alana Smith. Originally from Tasmania, Australia, played collegiately at Stanford. She was a former Indiana player, not for long. Played 9 games with the Fever in 2022. She's also spent time in the league with Phoenix, Chicago, and most recently Minnesota. Hines Allen played most of that first quarter and started the second. She goes to the bench for Stephanie White, the WNBA Coach of the Year from 2023. Clark on the inbound to Boston near side front court. Handed back off up top. Clark right-handed hip high dribble. Beckers defends. Turns it to her right on the perimeter. Boston handoff Clark. Threads it back. Boston steps out. She'll take a three. She can hit those. And she hits it here. Aaliyah Boston with a silky smooth jumper from distance. Knocks down Indiana's third three, and they lead by 4. Beckers got blitzed with a double up top. Now drifts to her right along the arc, cuts to the elbow. Beckers on the back down, turns. Fadeaway jumper is pure. Paige Beckers over the top of Tyasha Allen, who had the great defense. Clark at the other end nearly fumbled the handoff from Boston, was able to regain it. Fudd defends. Boston a screen. Clark shovels it. Boston beyond the left elbow. Jumper comes up short. Rebound. Beckers had it. Lost it. Boston sneaks in to reclaim and score. So Boston gets 2 bites at the cherry Able to finish on the second time of asking. Now here's Beckers. Blitzed again with traffic outside right. Got it to the right elbow for a jumper that skipped off the cut from Jessica Shepard. Rebounded by the Fever. One and out go the Wings. Clark sets the offense. High screen Timpson. Clark dancing, stepping back. Long three. Wide right. Good defense by Beckers. Rebound taken off the floor by Jessica Shepard and Dallas. Loops it into the left corner. Fudd, is this her time? Yes, it is! Out of the left corner, Azzi Fudd's got her first WNBA points as she rips the cords from downtown with a corner pocket hit. Dallas back within one. Clark driving aggressively at Fudd, in from the right, gets to the rim, and banks it in strongly. 35-32, Indiana. Again, the pace remains the exact same first quarter to second. Fudd off the top of the key, drifts to her right, handoff, Agumbawale. Hit two tremendous shots in that Final Four 8 years ago. Crossover dribble, steps back against Clark, up for three, and the rainbow is down! Arike Agumbawale knocks down the triple. Number 5 pick by Dallas in 2019. The other way, Boston. Spin cycle, drive to the inside, and she lays it up and in off glass. And neither team can miss much right now to start quarter two. Beckers behind a screen, gets to the foul line, shuffles up the jumper in the mid-range and gets it to drop a 16-footer. Tied at 37. Caitlin Clark takes her time, dribbling across and into the front court. Directs a bounce pass to her left, straddling the arc. Boston got it to Clark, who swings it right corner. Cunningham catches, reloads, finds Tyasha Allen. Allen drives in from the right, creates space, banks it up over Fudd. Too strong, rebound, scrap for, out of bounds. Off Indiana. It'll belong to Dallas, and we'll get a timeout on the floor. I think everyone deserves one. Under 6 to go, first half. 37 all, and this is good stuff.
You got that right.
JT,
you got that right.
JT, what voices are coming through your head? You know, give us a voice.
Too many. Too many.
Yeah.
Right.
That's another day at JT Industries. But anyway,
the thing that I've worked out is I can do this. Hold on. I can do this.
Way the way he has.
And you can hear them.
oh jeez.
And then I could do the same to the other guys, which means that when we are in two different boxes and you guys want to talk to each other, you guys can talk to each other.
Oh, God. Jesus.
Of course, Jay, you know, the only time Caitlin Clark's made a JBM cross reference when she gave the command to start the engines for the IndyCar race at Iowa a few years ago. And of course, JB made no mention of her. That's a travesty. Happy birthday, Bill Weber.
Oh, the great king.
Yeah, and of course, Eli Gold for the Food Lion.
I'm just not going to question it.
That was so funny that this video doesn't have a like. It does now.
Oh dear. So JT, here's a question for
That's
you.
about all we're going to mention from that conversation the other night on air today.
Yeah, no kidding. So JT, here's a question for you. Have you ever in your life watched a women's basketball game?
I cannot remember if I did a WCBK match. Definitely not WNBA.
No, believe us, none of the three of us have done a WNBA game.
Caitlin's first games on our old platform.
Oh, did you?
Ago.
Okay.
Yeah.
That has totally slipped the mind.
Guess what is live right now, Matthew?
What is live right now, JT?
Do you know all of those horrendous crashes? And I keep mentioning that 99% of the horrendous crashes are Waller Weekend.
Yes.
Waller Weekend 2026 is currently live. It is this weekend.
Oh, look at him go.
They have done 7 races in 3 hours.
Of course they have. Why wouldn't they? Ready for play to restart here. It's been a really fun first half.
Well, shout out to the graphics department. It's Las Vegas, please.
Indiana, as we mentioned, 24-20 last year.
They can start saying that randomly at school like Matt White does to his wife. We're in trouble.
Lord have mercy. Indiana finished 6th in the league last year, won a playoff series in 3 games against Atlanta, then lost the second round series that they played against the Las Vegas Aces, who of course are on a terrific run themselves in this league. Is out of the timeout. Agumbawale on the dribble drive. Takes it strong to the cup and lays it in. And Agumbawale's got a chance at a 3-point play as she puts Dallas back in front. But again, Las Vegas, team that's won so many titles of late. Indiana took
talking about players mid-game.
Yeah, I don't know why they. Yeah. Agumbawale hits the N1 free throw. Indiana did take Las Vegas to overtime in a decisive 5th game in that series. First round is best of 3. That's where they beat Atlanta. Second round is a semifinal, is best of 5, and then the finals best of 7 last year as a scramble off a deflection leads to all kinds of contact, and down to the floor goes Agumbawale. And a foul is going against Dallas here, I think. This is, of course, the home state of Vince Welch. We're honoring Bill Weber and Vince Welch today.
I'm going to say thank you, Vincent. Is Marty Reed coming up next?
Inbound far side front court, Raven Johnson will be the one to trigger it in just alongside Jose Fernandez and the Dallas defense. And she is able to inbound it, and a 3 is knocked down right off the catch. Kelsey Mitchell, who had that great first quarter, knocks down a catch-and-shoot 3. She's 6 of 7 from the field right now. And we're tied at 40, just past the midway point of the second quarter. Dallas back on offense. And now another whistle. We've been bragging about the pace. Don't need a lot of whistles. Foul on Lexi Hall by the looks of it. Mitchell had a great season last year, and of course in the absences of Cunningham and Clark, Mitchell stepped up 20 points per game. That was a career high in scoring for the season. On the inbound, Fudd off the right elbow, directs it to Clark, hands it off on the perimeter, Beckers, and an offensive foul is called as Hall goes flying as she got belted by Alicia Clark's screen. And a Dallas turnover as Clark, wow, set it hard. And Lexi Hall goes down. Just more about Mitchell. She led the WNBA in made threes last year at 111. That was 2.5 a game. And she just had such a great season stepping up in the absences of Clark and Cunningham, as I mentioned. And she was terrific all year. I believe we might have. We've gone away to another timeout, and it may be a review here. Perhaps Jose Fernandez has challenged that illegal screen that they called on Clark. Alicia Clark, that is. Alicia Clark, who has 3 rings herself. She won 2 titles with Seattle in 2018 and in the bubble in 2020, and then won another title with the Aces in 2023. Again, as Seth mentioned, WNBA season officially got underway last night with a triple header. We'll walk you through those games and some of the facts and figures from it when we get to halftime. And a busy day today, of course, as well on this tip-off Saturday. You do have the reigning champion Aces raising their newest banner and opening up their season at home against Phoenix in the next game on the National Network doubleheader. Great way to start the season. Of course, it's a big year in many ways, as we've talked about, for the WNBA 30th anniversary celebration season, of course, but there's new TV partners this year. It's always a big year for a sports league when new TV partners get involved, as there is this year for the league. And there's never been more accessibility to WNBA games than there will be this year, with games on CBS and NBC and ABC and ESPN and USA and ION. Disney Plus is streaming a bunch of games, including this one today between Indiana and Dallas. And this sport of women's basketball continues to grow. Yeah, Amazon,
Matthew.
you're right. Yes, thank you. Prime Video as well. Yes, JT.
Can I have a foul with all of those letters, please, Matthew?
Yeah. Very good. I've never watched Wheel of Fortune since Pat Sajak's retirement. It's just really a shame.
I was gonna say, we got Pat Sajak with us. That's awesome. My favorite Pat Sajak clip, of course, was when on April Fool's Day when he hosted Jeopardy.
Yes, and
Still here, Johnny Gilbert. Now, here is the host of Jeopardy, Pat Sajak.
Yeah, and Alex hosted Wheel of Fortune. Oh.
God rest Alex Trebek's soul. This is not meant as a slight, but that was more out of place than Pat on Jeopardy, if you ask me.
They have not reversed anything during that timeout, so Indiana's going to keep possession here, and they will inbound near side backcourt. And the Fever get it in, and up the floor comes Raven Johnson, the first-round pick. Bounce pass to her left. Mitchell drives left baseline underneath the basket. Tried to shovel it into the corner, and reading it perfectly is Beckers, who gets the steal. 3-on-3 the other way. Threads a bounce pass to a crashing in Agumbawale, who attacks the rim and draws a foul. One thing's for sure, both of these teams today, when they have had any opportunity to get into some open space and run, they have taken that opportunity to really speed up the floor. Agumbawale at the line, 93% foul shooter last year, was second best in the league, hits the first here to put Dallas in front by a point. Yeah, Seth mentioned Prime Video also doing games again this year for the WNBA as Agumbawale hits the second free throw. Makes two to make it 42-40. And there's no other league where their quote-unquote league pass, which is what it's called in the WNBA, is cheaper than it is in this league, and it's very affordable for everyone. Here's Maisha Hines-Allen. Skip pass into the left corner, stepping up the baseline and hitting a jumper in the short corner from the far side. To tie the game is Dantas. Her second field goal. And we're tied at 42. Becker zigzags her way into the front court to our left for Dallas. Tries to get around a hedge, and struggling to do so, she goes behind the back on the dribble, gets into the paint as she draws a crowd, then flips it down low. Up strong went Shepard to the basket, blocked, as it was Dantas covering a lot of space defensively. Got the rejection, and here's Indiana the other way. Lexi Hall changes direction, gets to the foul line, gets closer, leans in with a jumper. 10-footer misses off glass. Agumbawale the rebound. Here they go in transition again. And Agumbawale leads a perfect lead feed to Jessica Shepard. And she gets the moving layup in transition. Raven Johnson for Indiana. Skitters her way to the left elbow. Spins on the lane line. Banks it up and in. Had the defensive Fudd right in her face and is able to bank it home anyway. Under 3 to go here in the first half. We're tied at 44. Off the right elbow, spinning inside Segras, knocks it back to the outside, and Alicia Clark drains a three. Boy, both of these teams shooting lights out in this first half. Here's a pull-up jumper from the foul line by Mitchell that won't go, but there was a whistle first. Foul going against Dallas. And Caitlin Clark going to check back in here for the Fever. Fever were 13-9 at home last year. Inbound far side front court. Clark gets it in and gets it back on a return and then gives it for a drive inside, and a bank shot does not go on the run for Mitchell, but she draws a foul, and she came down really hard. And hopefully Kelsey Mitchell's okay. She takes a moment, gets herself back to her feet here. Mitchell now at age 30. As she collided into Clark. Originally from Cincinnati, played collegiately at Ohio State, so well where she was the number 2 overall pick by Indiana in 2018. Of course, here in the WNBA, you don't have rookies that come into the league at such a young age like you do in the NBA, as Mitchell hits the first free throw. Obviously, stars in women's college basketball mostly play all 4 years, certainly at least 3. Mitchell's second free throw is good. That's another reason why women's basketball on the college side has gotten so popular over the years, because you actually do have players that stay for 3 and 4 years, and fan bases can fall in love with a player, as Dallas is bringing the ball up the floor and a foul away from the ball against Indiana. And I think did we just get a technical? Well, there was a bump around midcourt between Hull and Alicia Clark. The foul was called on Lexi Hull. And I think the official teed her up. She said something to the referee, and a technical was given to Hull, and Becker's at the line, hits the technical free throw. So Lexi Hull didn't like that call and made her opinion known as Clark inbounds far side just in front of the scorer's table for Beckers. Beckers into the front court, gets it back on a quick return. Well away from the 3 off the right wing. Alicia Clark there to set a screen. Beckers forced out wide. Gives it to Agumbawale with the shot clock at 10. Crossover dribble. Agumbawale had it knocked away. In the paint, tries to recover. She can't. First one on it is a red shirt for the Fever, and now we've got a whistle. And a foul going against Dallas, as Agumbawale had it knocked away and ends up going against the Wings there. So an inbound will come far side front court from Clark in front of the Indiana bench. Gets it in for Boston. The return comes for Clark as we strike the final couple of minutes of this first half, which has been extremely entertaining. Clark outside right. Dribbles to the elbow, now backpedals to the outside and turns it in for Boston, who got good positioning on Shepard, and Boston to the basket lays it in, and we're tied at 48. Boston with 9 in this first half. Averaged 15 points and 8 rebounds a game last year, and we've got another foul going against Dallas. On offense here, Agumbawale was handling. And another Dallas turnover. Inbound comes to Clark. Over the timing line into the front court to our right. Screen comes from Mitchell, who does seem to be okay after that tough tumble. To the left elbow, Clark stops on a dime. Bounces it inside, and it is Hines Allen turning her body around. A defender missed the layup right-handed. Bodies on the deck to get the loose ball. Alicia Clark away with it. Agumbawale in transition. Throws it inside to a diving Segrist, who lays it in, plus a foul. Once again, in transition, Dallas makes no mistake as Agumbawale, Jessica Shepard, I beg your pardon, on the layup. And she'll go to the line with a chance at the three-point play. The foul is on Boston. Mentioned Boston earlier, will commit a lot of fouls. She committed the most in the league last year at 136 for the season. Shepard hits the and-one free throw. 51-48. Shepard with a double-digit scoring first half to go along with 4 boards and 4 helpers. Outside left, and an offensive foul against Indiana here. Another illegal screen. Boy, we're seeing some illegal screens set today. Hope you've gotten your fill of illegal screens, as Clark was trying to work through the body of Azzi James and pushed her over. James sold it well, but it is a foul. Inbound far side backcourt. Comes to Becker. She'll dribble it into the front court with Sophie Cunningham on her defensively. Hooks a pass into the right corner for Shepard. Shepard on the dribble, back to the wings. Hands it off for a 3, and it goes down. Azzi James. Silky smooth 3-point hit. Dallas up by 6 here. Clark up top. Spin cycles her way to the top of the circle now. Swings it right. Hines Allen, and another whistle. away from the ball. Foul against Dallas. Shepard called for that foul. Shepard out of Fremont, Nebraska, played collegiately at Notre Dame, and this is her 6th year in the league, first year in the league not with Minnesota. Free throws for Aaliyah Boston, misses the first as it clips back in front rim. 76% foul shooter was Boston last year. Hit a 3 earlier in this first half, did Boston. She only hit 6 all of last season. Knocks down the second free throw, goes 1 of 2. Inbound comes off the left side of the floor for Agumbawale. Dallas by 5. And Agumbawale looking to extend that lead. Flip to the top of the key to be taken by Segrist. Now back for Shepard off right wing. Darts a pass, cross court. Agumbawale catches left corner. Sets the feet and drills a 3. Dallas's three-point shooting has been terrific in this first half. They've hit 5 in this quarter alone. Mitchell turns a corner around a screen, and a foul is called against Agumbawale, who is trying to fight through it, set by Boston. Both teams are over the limit, so free throws coming again. 23 and 3/10 seconds left in this first half. Free throws again coming for Boston. Talked earlier about the great program that Dawn Staley has built almost out of thin air at South Carolina over the last handful of years. Boston, a great player for Dawn Staley.
Almost about it.
First free throw good for Boston. You are right. Second free throw good, so Boston's hit 3 free throws in the last few seconds. Dallas on the inbound. Wings can hold for the last shot of the half. Shot clock is dark. Boston with a 12-point second quarter. Paige Beckers holds outside right on the Gamebridge Fieldhouse logo, 40 feet from the basket. Timer ticks down. 9 now, 8 seconds left. Beckers to the right wing, steps through traffic, kicks left corner. 3 is down! Another three-point hit inbound to Clark, who got covered by defenders all around her. She's unable to get a heave off before the half ends, and Isaiah James hitting the 3 sends us to halftime with Dallas up by 9. An incredibly entertaining first half here in Indiana, and it's the homestanding Fever trailing at the break to Dallas, who won just 10 games last year. The Wings, though, with a 60-51 halftime lead here, shooting 59% from the field, and that James 3 right in front of the buzzer, their 10th of the half, 10 of 16 from distance in the first 20 minutes for Dallas, who just did not miss and really got out in transition well. They had 14 fast break points in that first half. And I talk about Dallas shooting it well at 59%. Indiana certainly shot the ball really well on their end, 56% from the field, but the real difference maker, Dallas hit 10 threes, Indiana hit only 4. 3 Wings in double-figure scoring, led by Arike Agumbawale with 13 points, 10 each from Shepard and Beckers. Indiana led by Kelsey Mitchell's 15 and Aaliyah Boston's 12. Caitlin Clark's first half, 8 points on 2 of 6 shooting. She did not hit a three-pointer. Halftime in Indianapolis, the month of May in Indianapolis, special time, and it includes the start of a new WNBA season for the Fever, but Seth Eves at halftime, they trail Dallas 60-51.
That they do. As we welcome you in to the W halftime report with Seth Eves, Matthew Owens, and maybe Josh T, and maybe AI Billy Jane Packer. Who knows? But anyway, Billie Jean Packer, I guess, a female
Billie
name for that.
Jean
But anyway,
is not my lover.
Packer talks too much. The stupid crap, like analyze the tip off.
What
Anyway.
am I hearing? What have I just zoned back into?
Just another day at Seth and Matt Stupid Enterprises, that's all. Nothing to see here. Nothing to see here. Shut up, JT.
I didn't even realize that was a thing, but okay.
Yeah, well.
You didn't even realize it's a thing, JT. You've been with us for 3 years. You just now figuring out that we're stupid. But anyway,
No, I had no idea that Seth's and Matthew's stupid enterprise existed.
Oh, jeez.
now you do. All right. So anyway, yeah, Matthew. You talked earlier about how this is a better game, better for some a more pure brand of basketball, but it's not a bunch of jack up threes. Dallas said, "Well, jack this." They were hitting them, and Enrique Gumbawale is here to say, "Hey, I'm the veteran here. I'm the old guard that's going to lead these youngins to the promised land. Hopefully, get on my back," said Enrique. She was great in that first half.
She was terrific. I mean, they all hit threes, it seems. She hit a good number of them, 13 points to lead all Dallas scorers. And they defended well. Caitlin Clark. Now, I won't say they defended everyone else well, but it's one of those things where just let everyone else get theirs and don't let Caitlin Clark kill you. And they defended Clark really well. That's all around a really good first half for a Dallas team who, again, just 10-34 last year, but a lot of people had a feeling that they would be a much better team this year, not only because of Azzi Fudd. Azzi Fudd, a reason why they hope that they're going to be better as the year goes on, but that wasn't the only reason why they had hope coming into this season, despite such a terrible record last year and a win-to-loss ratio of 1 to 3.5.
That's the story there. Last night, let's go. This is a review, previous, a lot of things. We're gonna look ahead of the season, but also look back at the games last night. Look ahead to the games today. So I just said the word "look" a lot here. So let's take a look, shall we? Let's start last night in Toronto. The brand new Toronto Tempo. Well, wasn't an up-tempo beat for the late Casey Kasem. The Washington Mystics won 68-65 in that game. 4 free throws for Shakira Austin down the stretch. 18 points and 11 rebounds. These are two teams you figure that are kind of going to be in a bit of a struggle mode. Obviously, an expansion team, Toronto and Washington, again, trying to rebuild. Lauren Betts, the number 1 overall pick, did not score in 12 minutes of play, though she did get 5 rebounds, and as you so eloquently put, 1 helper. Never had heard that one before. Sonia Citron with 26 points as well for the Mystics as they get the season started with a W.
Yeah, and, it very well could be a tough season for those two, but it was a great atmosphere in Toronto. Boy, did they fill the place last night, the Coca-Cola Coliseum. That might be my favorite Coliseum. It was a great atmosphere.
Right. Yeah, I'm not gonna disagree with you on that.
It really was a great atmosphere, and I can't wait to see what Toronto looks like as the season goes on, as professional women's basketball comes north of the border.
Should be an absolutely fantastic scene this year. How about the New York Liberty, Matthew? They're always one of the favorites, and they looked like it last night. They routed the Connecticut Sun 106-75. A ho-hum night at the office for Breanna Stewart. 31 points and 10 rebounds to lead the Liberty. They also got 17 from Johannes, as long as Lainey Hamilton. And good God Almighty, what kind of suit is that on Monica McNutt? Jesus. But anyway, 31 points and 10 rebounds. Her and Holly going for actual suits today. That's an interesting juxtaposition. Anyway, Diamond Miller had 16 to lead Connecticut. Of course, the Sun are stupidly leaving Connecticut at the end of the year.
Yeah.
More on that, maybe, probably not. But anyway, this was it. This was to be expected. The Liberty, really, really good, and they win by 31.
Believe me, if we don't mention it today, we'll mention it more as the season goes on. Yeah, Liberty by 31, by the way, without Sabrina Ionescu, still out just for precautionary purposes with a left foot soreness, and without Satu Sabali. So, Liberty are going to be really good again.
Yeah. That's as much breaking news as the sky being blue, as the sun rising in the east and setting in the west. There is Asia Wilson dressed up like she's going to the Met Gala. More on that in a minute. How about
no more on the Met Gala in a minute. I cannot give
no,
you
no,
Met
no, no, no,
Gala
no, I meant
analysis.
more on Asia Wilson and the Vegas Aces. I meant more on the Aces. Okay. All right.
I heard that there was a hurricane there.
I knew this was going to be a bad idea. Golden State beat Seattle 91-80. Year 2 for the Valkyries, 16 from Veronica Burton. Janelle Saloon, 20 points, and a career-high 5 threes as Golden State gets the win.
Yeah, let's see what Golden State season's going to be like. I think they can contend, and that's a win on the road against Seattle, who, of course, is still trying to build their way back up to what they have been for so many years. But that's a good win to start the season for Golden State. Really well balanced play. They had 4 players score in double figures, including, you mentioned the 20 points from a player that came off the bench. So it was a really well-rounded performance from Golden State.
So action today, the only team that has to wait until tomorrow to play its first game, by the way, is the LA Sparks. More on them perhaps in a second. How about the second game of the National ABC doubleheader? The Las Vegas Aces, the favorites to win the WNBA championship again. They host the Phoenix Mercury today, and the Aces. I mean, I just mentioned her. It kind of begins. I mean, I should say it begins and ends with Asia because they have other great players. Jewel Lloyd, Chelsea Gray. But Asia Wilson is the straw that stirs the proverbial drink.
Yeah, she is, and she always will be. And it's the Aces have done an amazing job as an organization putting together a spectacular team for the last handful of years. Now, how much do you want to put into preseason? WNBA preseason normally does mean a little bit more than preseason in other leagues because you have so many players that that are coming in with different. Their off seasons were all different in the amount of time that they played. So you have some teams that put a lot into the preseason and others that don't. Las Vegas did lose a preseason game to Dallas, their last preseason game, as it were. They lost to Dallas by 17 points. We'll see if that means anything at all, but we know that this Las Vegas team is very, very talented, but Phoenix is as well.
Should be an interesting one. How about Atlanta and Minnesota? Angel Reese, of course, now a member of the Atlanta Dream. And the Minnesota Lynx, they were 20-2 at home this season. Last season, another team that you just have to keep your eye on as we move on down the stretch of the season. No Nafisa Collier tonight for the Lynx, though.
And that certainly will hurt. But yes, you mentioned it. These are two really, really good teams. Atlanta, I think, is going to be the real sleeper all season long. And adding Angel Reese to the pieces that they already had, I think this is going to be a really good Atlanta team with Jordan Canada, Ryan Howard. I like the makes of this Atlanta team this year.
Yeah, I mean, you figure about Ryan Howard. Might be the most underrated player in the W, to be perfectly honest with you. We mentioned Toronto's expansion. That was last night. Tonight, Portland takes the stage as they welcome the Chicago Sky to the Moda Center. That is going to be a great scene in Portland tonight.
Yeah, let's see if Chicago is better, if they've taken some steps forward after their 10-win season last year. And yeah, Portland is just a great and underrated sports town in general, Seth. I think we've both said that in the past. But we know how much Portland and that area really supports women's sports. It's going to be great tonight.
It'd be very, very interesting to watch. And, of course, the one team that doesn't play until tomorrow is the LA Sparks. They'll open up at the Crypt against the Aces on Sunday. And, of course, you think about this LA team, and, of course, Kelsey Plum is there. Will we get a healthy Cam Brink? That's going to be a heck of an inside-out combo if they stay healthy.
Yeah, and bringing back Nneka Ogwumike as well. They're pushing a lot of chips into the center of the table here LA this year, and we'll see what they come up with. And again, WNBA season, what makes this league so very different than a lot of professional sports leagues. This is a 44-game season. It is not long. You do not have a lot of time to mesh together as a team. See what Los Angeles can do with that. A lot of new parts to a lot of teams this year. We talked about Chicago, how busy they were in the offseason. Los Angeles was as well.
They most certainly were. So, do you have a handicap pick on who you think's going to win? You going with Vegas or are you going with somebody else?
I think it's really easy to go with Vegas. I think I am going to go Vegas, and I told you my sleeper earlier. I'm going to go a Las Vegas-Atlanta final. But I am going to go with Vegas to win it.
That would be, that would be something. That is for sure. Checking in on some other sports news of that might be of interest to some. Manchester City look like they're going to stay in the title race. They lead Brentford 2-0 as the clock hits 90 on that one. Brighton beat Wolves 3-0, so JT's team still has a chance.
Seagulls!
I mentioned it. That has to be a bit of a bright spot in a week where Crystal Palace clinched a spot in the European final. But anyway, Middlesbrough and Southampton.
Jesus.
So, how about this, Matthew? This is a rarity to a degree. Well, actually, it's happened more recently than we think, but it doesn't happen that often. Both championship semifinal first legs goalless. Hull Millwall yesterday, Middlesbrough Southampton today. No goals. I'm looking at it as all to play for. In the second leg of action. Also, college softball. We're going to have the Women's College World Series in a few weeks. All the conferences are having conference championship games today. Among the notable championship games today in the SEC, Texas plays Alabama. Yippee! In the ACC, that's three sarcastic yippies and two sarcastic goodies. But anyway, there for some people. Virginia Tech, Florida State. That's your ACC championship. UCLA, Nebraska in the Big Ten. In the Big 12, it's Arizona State and Texas Tech.
UCLA, Nebraska in the Big Ten. Oh my God.
Yeah, I was waiting to see if that was going to get a comment. USC Upstate has run-ruled Winthrop 12-2, so congratulations to them. They get the automatic bid out of the Big South Conference. Also, South Florida won the American 5-1 over East Carolina. Charleston beat Hofstra 5-0. That's the CAA. By the way, in that UCLA-Nebraska game, Megan Grant sends a single-season record with her 38th home run of the season. Stetson also punching a ticket. Wagner, Boston U, St. Mary's also punching automatic tickets. And finally, some sad news. It's been a rough week to be historically speaking, to be a fan of the Atlanta Braves. Just a couple of days after former owner Ted Turner passed away, news breaks out that Braves manager Bobby Cox has passed away. Cox won one World Series championship with Atlanta back in 1995. He also managed 14 straight division titles and won 5 National League pennants. Our thoughts, prayers, and best wishes, deepest sympathies go to the Cox family and the Atlanta Braves family. Back to Matthew Owens now for the second half between the Wings and the Fever.
Yeah, thanks, Seth. And yeah, sending our thoughts to the friends and family of the Turner family, of the Cox family, and John Sterling, who had such a presence in Atlanta as well.
Yeah, John Sterling. Yeah, good catch there. Well, I'm not even trying to be funny. They say it comes in threes, and we unfortunately got the third. So
yeah. But as all of them, I'm sure, would tell you in any sporting event, just continue on, press on. And we will do that. But yeah, Ted Turner, just an absolute icon of the business. That, of course, we're so admirable with.
Listen, you can, you can call him what you want, an eccentric and a nut. You can also call him Trailblazer.
Yeah, no doubt about
he
that.
changed the game with the CNN, and his philanthropy too will be long remembered. And if you're an animal lover today, you better be thanking Ted Turner with his conservationism. So,
yeah, that's absolutely right. So we get ready for the second half to start here at the field house in Indianapolis. Of course, also in Indianapolis on this channel later today, the Sancio Indy Grand Prix. Later tonight at 6 o'clock, Game 4 between the Carolina Hurricanes and Philadelphia Flyers as well. Busy Saturday on this channel, as most Saturdays are. First half, which had 7 ties and 9 lead changes. We'll see what the second half has in store as we get underway. Dallas brings the ball up the floor with Odyssey Sims, who had a good first half. Caitlin Clark picks her up defensively. Sims directs at top of the arc. Beckers dumps it inside for Shepard. Return for Becker. Shepard a screen, and it's an offensive foul. We saw a ton of illegal screens in that first half, and there's another one there. Sophie Cunningham ended up on the deck, gets picked up by her teammates. And here come the Fever. How about you shoot 56% from the field in the first half, but you trail by 9? That's what Indiana faces here. Mitchell shovels it out to the top of the arc now to Clark on the right wing, who lets a 3 fly and connects on her first bonus territory shot of the day. She was 0 for 3 from 3 in that first half, was Clark. She was held to 8 points. Knocks down the triple here. Dallas on offense again. Alana Smith outside left. Swirls it into the hands of Beckers. Smith on the screen, rolls to the basket. Beckers gets it to her, then it's knocked away. Nearly stolen by Boston. Back out Beckers. Long left wing 3. 30-footer comes up short. Rebound out of bounds off of Alana Smith. And Dallas, it'll belong to Indiana. That's, of course, what all the Fever fans were waiting for. Caitlin Clark's first 3-point hit. It's such a huge part to this team, as we know. Clark into the front court to set the offense. Cuts right on the elbow. Lost the ball. Gets it back. Swings it up top to be taken by Boston. Drifts left. On the wing. Mitchell on a handoff. Back for Boston. Now it's Clark outside right behind a screen. Tries to get free. Bounce pass inside. Hines Allen to the rim. Lefty layup would not go. Maybe partially blocked. Taken by Shepard. Dallas ball. Here comes Agunbawale. 13-point first half for Arike Agunbawale. Cutting hard to the left. On the elbow. Pull-up jumper. Skips off the cup. No good. Rebound scrap for her. And a foul in the battle for the rebound going against Cunningham and Indiana. Cunningham's second year with the Fever. After spending her first 6 seasons with Phoenix. Played well in the 4 games that she played against Dallas last year. Before she went out with injury, she did play all 4 regular season meetings with Dallas, averaged 9.5 points, 4 rebounds, and 2 assists per game in those 4. Inbound far side front court. Smith in for Agunbawale. Directed back for Sims. Outside right. Clark defends. Centering pass. Beckers to the right elbow. Across the lane. To be taken by Shepard, who was able to bully her way inside but missed the hook shot. Hines Allen the rebound. And up she comes. Hands it off right wing. Mitchell will put it on the deck. Drive in. Scoop it up. No. Offensive rebound Boston. Reload. Out to Clark. Up for 3. That rattles in. And Clark with a big swing of an arm after hitting her second 3 in the first 2 minutes of the first half. Second half, rather. Here's Dallas back on the ball. Beckers, outside right, shovel pass Smith, extra feed. Sims to the left elbow, leans into the mid-range jumper and knocks it down. Here goes Clark. When she starts to feel it, that's when Fever fans get to fever pitch. Here she goes up the right lane line and draws a foul on the floor against Alana Smith. The offensive rebound of Boston is what set up that Clark 3. So did not hit one from beyond the arc in the first half. 2 in the first 2 minutes of the second half for Caitlin. And quickly up to 14 points. 8 in the first half, 6 already to start this third quarter.
New GIF just got unlocked, by the way.
What was that?
New GIF just got unlocked with that arm crash.
Yeah, right. Indiana the inbound. Clark a fastball feed inside for Boston. Trying to deny Boston the ball was Shepard. She reached in and committed the foul. mean, this is a jam-packed building. I mean, they are jammed up and jelly tight inside the field house for this Fever season opener. Clark on the trigger end. High looper to Boston. Top of the arc, handoff Clark. Comes back to her right. Hands it off. Mitchell at the top of the circle with 5 to shoot. Spin cycles into the paint. Tries to dump it down on a backdoor feed for Hull, who could not collect the pass cleanly. Stolen by Dallas. Sims in transition. Ahead on the right lane line. Shepard able to pass it across the lane. Sims on a cut to the basket. Lays it in. Clark wasting no time getting back forward. Top of the arc. Zigzagging drive. Behind the back pass. Finds Hines Allen cutting to the rim. And she banks it home. Now Dallas, had everyone beat in transition, but the lead feed looped over the head of a cutting-in Shepard. Dallas turnover. They would have had more transition points there, Dallas, but just wasn't a good enough pass to Shepard. But meanwhile, Clark on the other end with that behind-the-back no-look feed, knowing exactly where Maisha Hines Allen was going to be. Drops a dime. 5-point game. Clark really starting to take over here. Throws it into the front court to the top of the key to be taken by Hines Allen. Now for the rookie Raven Johnson. Dribbles while towing the arc to her right. Hands it back off on the wing. Long three. Clatters off the rim. No good. Scrap for the rebound. Beckers collided into Cunningham. Or a hole rather. And it's a foul on Beckers, who was trying to run down that weak side rebound. And her and Hull came. She got Hull up high, and that's why Hull ended up on the deck. Foul on Beckers and Dallas. Inbound near side front court. Hull looking to get it in. Pump fakes on the pass, now gets it in for Johnson. Spreads it to the right wing, Hines Allen. Dumped inside for Hull on the right lane line. Tries to spin against Sims, who knocked it away, and it's stolen by the wings. This defense has created plenty of turnovers early. Here's Beckers. Blitzed with a double, drives on Clark, in from the left, gets by Clark, and Beckers ducks underneath, lays it in, plus a foul. Clark and Beckers in the end, one-on-one, and that's the matchup we all wanted to see today. And Beckers got half a step on Clark and was relentless in not wanting to give up that half-step advantage. Beckers was an 89% free throw shooter last year as a rookie. Hits the and one. Dallas leads by 8. Indiana on the inbound. Beckers gets it into Boston. Now it's to Mitchell. Cuts to the top of the arc. Now drives in from the left. Swings it inside. Boston creates space around the defensive Smith. And Aaliyah Boston scores. 67-61. Dallas leads. Odyssey Sims into the front court. Drifts to her right. On the wing. Handoff. Agumbawale holds the ball over her head. Cuts to her left. At the foul line. Kicks it into the short corner. Jumper by Smith. Misses short. Rebound Indiana. Clark running. Clark has space against Becker. Stumbles her way to the rim. And Clark lays it in. Well, a couple of possessions back. Becker's got Clark. This time Clark gets Beckers. Clark was... Clark was 16. She's matched her first half total already in the second half. Cross-court feed by Smith. Knocked away by Hull out of bounds. It'll stay with Dallas. And Lexi Hull claps her hands and gets the crowd going with the defensive effort. This crowd is into it now for sure. Actually, they're saying that went last off Dallas. It's going to stay, or it's going to go rather, to the Fever. With 5.5 left here in this third quarter, inbound in front of the scorers table. Comes to Clark. Here she is. Left-handed hip-high dribble. Beckers squares up on her defensively. Bounce pass on the perimeter. Boston wanted to hand it back off for Clark. Boston keeps it. Spins. Drives right down the middle. Creates space to the rim and missed the runner. And then the rebound ended up in the hands of a fallen down Alana Smith. She was lying on her back on the end line, and the ball came right into her hands. So she touched it out of bounds. So it'll stay with Indiana. Shot clock will reset to 14. Just as it is in the NBA on an offensive rebound, shot clock recycles to 14. Boston looking to get it in. Scans for options. Looks to her right. Pump fakes on an inbounds pass. Now gets it in as she lofted it 35 feet away from the basket to Clark, who catches on the far side. Boston wanders way out for a screen. Clark threads it to Boston, rolling to the basket, leans in and banks it home. There's that connection that Indiana needs to be great this season. Clark and Boston. Clark waving her right arm up and down to the crowd. Wants them to get louder. Sims tried to dump it off inside. Knocked away and stolen by Boston. 4-on-3 Indiana. Boston ahead. A great lead feed by Mitchell to the inside. And a driving layup makes it a tie game. Timeout Dallas.
I was just getting ready to say you got to get a timeout.
Yep, and they do. Well, it's instant defense. It's defense rather into instant offense for Indiana. And they have overcome the 9-point halftime deficit straight away in this second half. And we are tied. And Jose Fernandez, rookie head coach in the WNBA, but certainly not a rookie in coaching women's basketball, spent a quarter of a century at the helm of the South Florida women's program. He gets the timeout in.
Had some rock-solid teams with the Bulls as well.
Really, really did.
The only time the only time they never ruled the American was the time UConn was in there.
Yeah, right. Went to the NCAA tournament in 10 of his 25 years, and when he took over in 2000, it was a program that wasn't even on the map. I think he, in his first year at USF, record was 4-24, if I'm not mistaken. Boy, did he turn that around. Well, Indiana has turned it around here. Indiana's turned it around here, though, as Dantas got that driving layup on a great, pretty passing play in transition. So, from down 9 at halftime, the Fever have earned a tie in the ball game. And a lot of it has been sparked by the lethal combination of Caitlin Clark and Aaliyah Boston. Again, Clark has 8 points in this third quarter. That's as many as she had in the first half alone. She's hit 2 threes in this quarter. She hit none in the first half. So coming out of this
final.
Dallas timeout. Yeah, go ahead.
A final. Arizona State wins 4-0 over Texas Tech.
Very good. Odyssey Sims into the front court. Yeah, Arizona State in the Big 12, of course. Still got to get used to it. Sims gets it short corner left. Beckers puts her head down, drives inside. Physical drive to the rim, and she lays it in to get Dallas back in front with 4.5 to go in this third quarter. Talked about the Wings with just 10 wins last year, and many people, including this Dallas team, believes that they can be much better this year. Here's Boston, skip past Clark, off right wing, step back wing 3, misses off the heel, rebound on the floor, and diving out Beckers, gets her arms around it, gets contested, and let's see if we're going to get a jump ball. This is the reason why this game was chosen for a lot of people to start their WNBA season. I know 3 games last night on Ion, and no disrespect to the wonderful people at Ion, but this is really the tip-off to the WNBA season for a lot of people, most of the country, and this is the reason this game was chosen. The talent level and the future of this league for, my goodness, the next 10, 15-plus years, with Beckers and Fudd and Clark and Mitchell and Boston. Agumbawale. Will be a jump ball here.
And that's just in this game.
Right. Easily the jump ball was won by Michaela Timpson, but I don't think they liked...
Did a great... Oh, well, there's a whistle. Dang it. I was going to say, did a great job stealing that tap.
Yeah, I don't think they liked the jump of the ball, but they're giving possession to Indiana. Beckers had no chance to outleap Timpson. Timpson dwarfing Beckers there, so now Clark's going to inbound near side front court. Beckers defending and Clark struggling to get it in, does into the left corner. Cunningham fumbled it, was able to recover. Then she darted it down the middle for a drive to the rim. Dantas lays it in. She's had an underrated, really good game, Damaris Dantas. Third-year Fever player. Spent time in the W with Minnesota and Atlanta. originates from Brazil. Sims looping pass, caught left of the lane. Becker sizes up the defense of Cunningham. Becker's knifes in, steps back with a jumper that won't fall but draws a foul. Again, as a rookie last year, Paige was the league's 5th leading scorer at 19 points per game. She had 17 20-point performances last year, which was basically half of her game. She misses the first free throw here. She played 36 games, was over 27 times, maxed out in an August game at Los Angeles with 44. Second free throw is good. She goes 1 out of 2. Dallas puts a nose back in front. Raven Johnson carries the ball into the front court, gives for Clark up top, tries to drive between 2 defenders, does. Running floater comes up short, thought she was fouled, there was no whistle. Rebound Beckers, transition again. Beckers feeds it left, Fudd for 3, off the back of the rim. Rebound popcorns around and gets stolen underneath the basket by Shepard, who then went back up strong, missed the banker, but a foul is called. Wow, all of the shot making in the first half. I don't know what was said by Jose Fernandez and Stephanie White at halftime. Actually, they're giving this ball to Indiana. But the defenses have really stiffened up here in the third quarter. Clark with a hard, intentful bounce pass to the head of the arc for Dantas. Now given right Cunningham. Top of the arc with Beckers out defending. Beckers makes her give it up to Johnson, and Johnson tried to trickle it into the left corner, and it's stolen, and here's Dallas in transition again, and it's Sims to the rim, draws a foul, and banks it in, and Odyssey Sims has an opportunity at a three-point play. It was a steal at the other end by Awak Kuir into the game for the first time today for Dallas, with those long arms that she possesses, got the steal, and Dallas has made very few mistakes in transition in this game, and they didn't there either. And the steal by Kuir from Cairo, Egypt, ends up in an Odyssey Sims transition basket. Both teams have gone to their benches here. And it looks like perhaps an Indiana timeout was taken after that Sims transition basket. Rematch of the finals later today. Las Vegas and Phoenix. Vegas, of course, champions of this league in 3 of the last 4 years. They have been on another planet in the WNBA here lately. They
Matthew,
up their season here in about an hour. Yes, JT.
have you checked Twitter recently?
I have not.
NASCAR Chasm was the Go Bowling mascot.
Oh, jeez. One free throw for Odyssey Sims, trying to complete the 3-point play. And she does. Dallas by 4. Indiana ball. Raven Johnson trying to get a lane. Feeds it to her right. Now it's looped up top. Dantas, she'll try straight on 3. Clatters off the cup, no good. Kuir could not grab the rebound. Instead, an offensive board by Sophie Cunningham. Back to the top of the arc. Dantas dives it inside. Wow! Kelsey Mitchell with an explosive move to the rim, and she banks it up and in from in tight. Mitchell had 15 in the first half. That's her first points of the third quarter. Sims, left-handed dribble the other way. Agumbawale trying to fight through traffic and come for the ball. She's got it. Johnson defends. Jab step. Move to the inside. Agumbawale. Fadeaway jumper in the lane is good. Raven Johnson, that terrific defender at South Carolina. She had the defense there. And Agumbawale with a pretty step-back jumper. Pull-up jumper. Mitchell, 17-footer. No, got it back. Dished it off underneath. And cutting to the basket and getting the lay-in is Michaela Timpson. Under 2 minutes to go, third quarter. Dallas by 2. Indiana shooting better than 50% from the field in this quarter. Dallas is as well. Here's Kuir out on the perimeter for the ball. Defended by Timpson. Hands it off Fudd. Swings it width of the court. Agumbawale this way. Off right wing. Takes a screen from Segrist. Now bounces it in. Segrist to the basket. Banks it up. Won't fall. Hung on the rim. Would not go. And Johnson was able to vacuum in the rebound. Indiana can tie or take the lead. Johnson, great feed inside. Cunningham knocked away Agumbawale. Cunningham recovered. Now Johnson feeds left wing. Mitchell for the lead off the heel. And Kuir with that long wingspan for the Wings with the rebound. Outlet Agumbawale charges right down the lane to the rim. And she lays it home. What a terrific season opener for Arike Agumbawale. At the other end, driving down the lane, Mitchell throws up a floater off glass, no good, but she got hip checked and takes a foul. And Mitchell will shoot at the line as the Fever are in the bonus. Awat Kuir, as I said, originally from Cairo, Egypt. She has Egyptian and Finnish nationality. I don't know of many people that have dual citizenship in Finland and Egypt. First free throw is good. This is her first WNBA game in 3 years. Meanwhile, China's Lee Ueru checks back in for Dallas as well. Played in the Olympics for China in 2020. Second free throw is good. Mitchell hitting both. And here's Dallas into the front court. And we've got a whistle and a foul against Indiana away from the ball. Not sure on who. Will be free throws for Ueru, who last season started the year with Seattle before coming over to Dallas. She also has spent time in her WNBA career with Chicago and Los Angeles. She's been to a lot of big cities. First free throw is good. Well traveled, I'd say, when you go from Chicago to Los Angeles to Seattle to Dallas. You know, you're hitting just about everywhere. Spins the ball in her hands. Ueru's second free throw comes up short, and the rebound down uncontested to Raven Johnson. Indiana trails by 3 as we approach the final moments of the third quarter, and Johnson dishes it in beautifully. Michaela Timpson by herself underneath the cylinder lays it in. Makes it a 1-point game. Sims swings it left. Agumbawale on the far wing. A reversal on the left baseline. Caught through traffic by Segrist, who shoots off one leg in the paint. No on the mid-range jumper. Rebound tracked down in the far corner by Indiana's Michaela Timpson, and then there was a foul in the scrap for the rebound. So a 1-point game here, and Fever free throws coming as both teams are over the limit. So it'll be Michaela Timpson, second-year player out of Florida State, who will shoot free throws here. Could tie it and then give Indiana the lead, and she has tied it as she hits the first. Fever trailed by 9 at the half, trailed 60-51, and after giving up an average of 30 points in the first 2 quarters, they've only given up 18 in the second here, the Wings. Second free throw pops out. The rebound taken confidently by Segrist, who then tried to get it to Sims, who was tight-roping the baseline around a double, but she gets out of it, and in transition feeds Agumbawale, left corner 3, a rainbow up, halfway down, popped out. Rebound popcorns around, taken by Fudd. Back pedals to the outside, entry feed. Ueru on the right blocks, trying to cut out some space against the defense of Dantas, and draws a foul with just 17 seconds left in the quarter. More free throws coming for Ueru. Dantas picks up the foul, and that is her 5th. So Dantas, who has been playing aggressively on both ends of the floor while she's been out, with 5 fouls. Ueru at the line. First is good to break the tie. Clark back in for Indiana. Isaiah James back in for Dallas. Former NC State star Isaiah James. Boston also back in for the Fever, as Stephanie White gets her big guns on for what will likely be just one possession to end the third. Lee Aru with one more free throw. 86% from the line last season in the 31 games she played. 9 with Seattle and 22 with Dallas. 3 dribbles of the ball, spins it in her hands. Deep bend of the knees, flick of the wrist. Misses too strong, but there may have been a lane violation, and there was by Boston, who stepped in too quickly. Beg your pardon, Mitchell was the one that stepped in too quickly. And that will give Aru another chance and might cost Dallas a point in the end. So Aru again. Spins the ball in her hands, bend of the knees, flick of the wrist. Free throw is good, so she makes it on the second attempt. Indiana on the inbound. Shot clock is dark. Final seconds of the third quarter here as Clark's across midcourt with 10. Clark with a right-handed dribble. Defended aggressively. Now Sims switches onto her. Clark, a spin cycle move to the rim, lays it in! Wow, Caitlin Clark on the inbound at midcourt. Sims gets up a heave that's nowhere close. And that sends us to the money quarter here in Indy. All square at 80. Caitlin Clark got the switch that she wanted, hit the spin button, and left Odyssey Sims in her dust. Clark caps off a big third quarter with a bucket right before the horn, and it's 80-80 going to the fourth on WNBA Tip-Off Saturday. Seth, I know you called a lot of Caitlin's college games. You saw that plenty of times, didn't you?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. The logo 3, the long 3, the step back, the whirling dervish. I saw it all. And boy, was I lucky to see it. Man, oh man. What a game we have here. I mean, if this is any indication of how the season's going to go, then buckle up, folks.
We're excited. We are excited. We haven't done this on, certainly not this platform, first year of the platform, but we didn't do it on the old platform. We are excited. Something new, something fresh for us to do. And, we are really looking forward to this season. This is not a one-off today, doing this much-anticipated Dallas-Indiana game. Now, of course, WNBA streams on this channel will not be coming thick and fast at the start of the season, with, of course, NBA playoffs, Stanley Cup playoffs, NASCAR, IndyCar, and then into the summer, the World Cup. But we will have WNBA games throughout the season, and once we get to the playoffs, see if Las Vegas can make it 4 out of 5. See if Phoenix can get redemption, New York can claim another, or perhaps Indiana can rise up. Yes, sir.
You could have picked any WNBA game. You could have picked the one tomorrow night. You could have picked 2 on Thursday night, or Sunday. Next Sunday, but no, you decide to pick this one, which is the only one I don't have vision for.
I was going to say, I just sent a message to Matthew on Instagram, but so JT did figure out that Sky Sports does have rights to WNBA games over there, and yes, their first one is tomorrow night with
Aces and Sparks.
Aces and the Sparks.
Wow. So okay, so we will, thank God, because anytime I have to scoreboard and it's not JT, there's times it becomes a hot mess. Indiana starts the fourth quarter.
It is a car crash.
With the ball, and here's a right wing 3, skipping off the cut for Boston. Rebound scrap for up for grabs. Cunningham could not collect it. Sims did, then had it poked away while trying to dribble in transition by Hines Allen. Out of bounds. It looks like it's going to stay with Dallas, and Maisha Hines-Allen does not agree with that. Sims gets the ball inbounded quickly. Tied at 80 to start the money quarter here in Indy. Dallas with possession, and they dump it inside, and oh boy, Ueru on the interior got rejected by Boston, who brings it back the other way in transition, goes right to the cup and lays it in. Aaliyah Boston doing it solo. The block at one end, the driving layup at the other end. Got a whistle as Isaiah James got contacted in transition, as Boston covered a lot of space defensively there against Ueru, who thought she got hit across the arm, and then Boston leading the break all on her own. A little Magic Johnson touch on that transition drive. Here's Dallas into the front court. Caitlin Clark off the scores to the scores table, set to check in at the next whistle. Here's James, jab step, pull back, left wing three is good, plus a foul. A chance at a 4-point play for Azzi James, firing Dallas back in front. Foul is on Kelsey Mitchell, who didn't give her room to land. Again, this Dallas team, it was a busy offseason for a lot of teams. There are not many teams that just stood with what their roster was from last season. And, of course, that's how it is a lot in the WNBA with 15 teams now in the league. There is normally a lot of off-season movement. This Dallas team has gotten a lot better. And Azzi James, of course, who hasn't been in the league for that long, her second year, as Indiana, a turnover at midcourt, a strip and steal by Agumba Wale, who gets the deuce at the other end, and Dallas pushes out to a 4-point lead. Timeout taken by Indiana. Well, sloppy start to this fourth quarter for Stephanie White's team.
I'm about to pull another certain someone. Now, the WNBA season really doesn't start until Caitlin Clark plus the Aces get going. And see, look at JT. He's cheating on JB already. Cheating on ITV already.
Hello, I heard my name.
Yes.
I have.
Your name got involved in crossfire of me impersonating an idiot, so you know.
But I'm not going to question it.
That's the best way to go.
Yeah.
Really?
Matthew,
Yes.
as I mentioned earlier on, Waller weekend is this weekend. They've done 10 races in 5 hours. That is how long it's taken.
Indiana to inbound out of the timeout.
That was a quick timeout.
That was a quick timeout. Aaliyah Boston spins her way into the front court, and Clark sets an illegal screen. It's an offensive foul. She knocked over James. As I said earlier, if you came for a basketball game with a lot of illegal screens, you found the right one today. That is not a knock against the officials either. This has been a physical game with a lot of shoulders being put into chest. And we're going to get a challenge here from Stephanie White. First challenge of the year, at least for us. We love a good challenge, don't you know?
Why are we at the monitor?
Yes, the news this week, of course, of March Madness expanding. That's stupid to begin with. But, maybe the most...
You love that, Matthew.
No, I don't.
You so love that.
And maybe the most underrated part of all that came out about March Madness is now there's going to be expanded commercial breaks. Yes, because again, on this channel, 2 months ago, month and a half ago, we had UCLA and UCF. If we had expanded commercial breaks, that game would not have ended until 1 in the morning, and we would have had another game to go. I mean, what a ridiculous... Yeah. Expanding the tournament. We've expanded it, they're going to say a bunch of bullshit. Like, we've expanded it, because we need more accessibility, and we need more teams in, and bigger is better, and all of that BS that gets spewed. No, we're doing it because the universities get more money. Well, apparently, expansion does not mean more money for the networks. So the networks, to get more money, have done expanded commercials. Why are we trying to ruin college basketball? Why are we trying to ruin sporting events? Tickets for the World Cup final is up to $35,000. Tickets to one soccer game, that's a yearly it's a yearly salary for people. Anyway, Dallas inbounds. There was no reversal of that review.
So is that the commercial break deal? Is that just for the NCAA tournament? Or is that for regular season?
I think it's
too?
just for the tournament.
Thank God, because some of these Wednesday night games can drag too.
Agumbawale misfires on a three. Indiana the rebound, and the Fever back up the floor. And Clark, early offense, steps back with a left baseline jumper, comes up short. Rebound Dallas. Here's Beckers into the front court, steps to the top of the arc, swings it right. Agumbawale, return for Beckers up high. 2 minutes gone here in this fourth quarter in a 4-point game. Beckers trying to get free of traffic. Hull stays on her behind the back dribble, getting space down the lane. Floater is good for Paige Beckers with a silky smooth behind the back dribble which got her space to the rim to hit the floater. Caitlin Clark at the other end crashes to the cup and lays it in. Clark with a quick bucket, 4-point game. 2.5 gone in the fourth. Fudd floats the ball to Beckers. Outside right, between the legs dribble. Hoisting up a three. That's a brick off the glass. Rebound scooped up off the floor by Hines Allen. Caitlin Clark with a long looping pass ahead. Good catch underneath the basket. Boston spins to her right around the defender Shepard, and she shovels it up and in, and it's right back down to a 2-point game. Indiana outscoring Dallas right now 50-34. Beckers outside left. Timeout taken by Jose Fernandez, and Dallas, with just north of 7 minutes to go in regulation time, we've got a 2-point game. 2 quick baskets, Clark on the assist to Boston, and then Clark on her own. Getting 2 quick field goals for the Fever. This has been a really good game right from the jump, and it looks like we're heading towards a terrific finish to start our WNBA campaign. That last bucket from Boston giving her 20 points. Only 4 rebounds. That's a low number for her. Again, averaged 8 rebounds a game last season. But the 20-point performance is nothing new for Aaliyah. She had 11 20-point games last season. Her and Clark each with 20 here this afternoon, and Kelsey Mitchell with 19. Those 3 have combined for 59 of Indiana's 86 points. And that's, of course, the big 3 that Indiana has on this team. They hope that others can join in, like Sophie Cunningham and Raven Johnson, as the season goes on. Agumbawale will trigger in far side front court here for the Wings in their bright blue uniforms, white numbers, lime green trim, and Agumbawale did not get it inbounded in time. It's a 5-second call. Now Sophie Cunningham looks at the crowd, throws her arms up in the air as the defensive intensity of Indiana there forces a turnover as Agumbawale could not get it in clean. Fever inbound to Clark, far side backcourt. They can tie or take the lead. Clark with a bounce pass to the top of the arc. Gets it back from Hines Allen. Now the bounce pass goes right back to Hines Allen on her way to the rim. Scoops it up left-handed. It won't go. Rebound Dallas. Jessica Shepard leaves it for Paige Beckers. Shepard sets a really high screen. They blitz Beckers with a double to get it out of her hands. She finds Smith. Now the return to Smith, driving down the lane, loops it left corner. Agumbawale launches a 3 and knocks it down. Arike Agumbawale, butter from downtown. Indiana back into the front court. Jousting forward with it as Boston now finds Clark on the outside. Beckers defends. Clark a deep 3 over her. Off the heel. High rebound up for grabs on the floor. Timpson had it, then got contested by James. Jump ball. Wow, how about that ball movement on the previous possession from Dallas? I thought Alana Smith was going to get a wide open layup, but Indiana recovered well defensively to her, and then she found Agumbawale with a perfect pass. Jump ball now. Timpson and James. And, wow, James didn't even jump up for that. And they're going to Just going to give it to Indiana to inbound near side front court. That's the second time that's happened today.
Poor tapping. Just conceded the tap right away. Just very poor job there by James. No effort, James.
Clark to inbound near side front court, gets it in. Kelsey Mitchell, top of the key, lets a three fly, clatters off the rim to her left, no good. Rebound, Alana Smith. Here comes Dallas, up 5-6 to go. Agumbawale chisels her way inside, a running floater, no. Rebound up for grabs, and swarmed at by Cunningham. Outletted for Clark, across midcourt. Tries to step aside Agumbawale, who stayed with her defensively, but picks up a foul. Foul on the floor against Agumbawale. Would love to tell you how many timeouts each team has, but we still insist on putting up the team's record from last season on the bottom of screen. Thank you. Clark, the near side front court inbound, comes to Mitchell. Mitchell slashes. Mitchell right to the rim, lays it in. Strong drive to the cup from Kelsey Mitchell, who now has 21. 3 different Fever players at 20-plus for the game. Becker's now...
2 timeouts, Wings, 1 Fever.
Thank you. Shapes a pass to the left wing of Agumbawale. Centered ball at the top of the arc. Trying to work her way inside Shepard. She does. Reverse layup is good. Oh, Jessica Shepard with a terrific display of footwork to get around the defense of Dantas. Here comes Indiana the other way, and we've got another whistle. Can you repeat that for me, please, JT, just one more time so I can get it on the scoreboard?
2 timeouts, Wings, 1 timeout, Fever.
Look at JT. JT.
JT, our GOAT, the GOAT.
TV pictures ain't stopping me scoreboarding today.
Inbound far side front court. In for Mitchell, gets a screen from Dantas. Mitchell nearly dribbled it off her foot, recovered. Steps back, left wing, cross-court pass. Cunningham catches, explodes up the right baseline, dumps it off, drive inside. Floater by Timpson is good. Still got 5 minutes left here, tons of time. 3-point game, high-scoring contest in the 90s with all that time left. Becker's off right wing, loops a pass inside. Smith got positioning behind Cunningham. She catches and scores. Alana Smith with the basket off a great feed from Beckers. It's 95-90 now. Clark into the front court. Defended by James. Clark trying to get around her. Gets to the left elbow. Clark knocks her down. There was no whistle. Yes, there was. It's a defensive foul. Oh, and Caitlin Clark is a lucky, lucky girl there. I'm not sure. Did James have her feet? Oh, gosh, that's really close to James getting her feet set, but Clark initiated the contact. Foul is on the floor. Clark on the trigger in. Catch by Mitchell, driving from the right, and she draws a foul through traffic. That looks like that'll send Mitchell to the line, will it? Nope. They call it on the floor. So they'll inbound again. Clark, far side front court. Looking to trigger in. Searching to her left, searching to her right. Gets it in for Dantas, who's had a really underrated game today. Back for Clark on a handoff. Dantas sets the high screen. Clark drives, pulls up at the foul line, now gets into the middle of the lane, puts it up. It was halfway down and popped out. Rebound taken by Jessica Shepard. In open floor, running the other way with Sims, plays it across. Sims to the rim from the left, lays it in. Dallas has been special in transition in this game. Odyssey Sims gets the transition 2 there. Final 4 minutes in a 7-point game. More than a quarter of Dallas's points have come in transition. Here's a long three. Good! Off right wing. Kelsey Mitchell lands the long three-pointer. Dallas back the other way. 24 for Mitchell, her second 3. Sims sets the offense, left-handed dribble, swings it right. James on the wing. Squared up defensively by Clark. Screen from Smith, off the switch. They get it to Smith, driving in. A lot of contact and a defensive foul as Smith made her move to the rim and went right into the body of Mitchell, who's everywhere right now for the Fever. And she was outside the restricted area too, but she didn't quite get her feet set. That's the right call, and it's Alana Smith who draws the foul. So Smith with free throws, and the first one gets a fortuitous bounce off the left side of the rim and drops in. It is a 5-point Dallas lead with 3.5 to go in regulation time. What a game this has been. A part of WNBA tip-off weekend. Smith pours in the second free throw. It's 99-93. The trigger in by Clark comes to Mitchell. Explosive drive right down the middle to the rim. Reverse lefty layup won't fall, but a foul is called on her way to the cup. So it'll be free throws for Kelsey Mitchell, who again has had a terrific opening game of her season. First free throw by Mitchell. Rattles off. Goombawale, by the way, just picked up her 5th foul. Now a reminder, in the WNBA, there is a reset timeout. It is only available in the last 2 minutes of the game. Second free throw is good, 1 of 2 for Mitchell. So when we get to the last 2 minutes, there will be a reset timeout available.
Garbage system.
The Dallas into the front court. Sims outside left. Handoff on the perimeter. Beckers centers it for Smith, who nearly lost it. Recovered, and she got called for traveling. It's a Dallas turnover at a crucial time. She was trying to pass it. Beckers cut away from her, so she had to regather the ball, but as she did, she traveled. 14th Dallas turnover. Clark into the front court off the trigger in as we approach the final 3 minutes. Clark, top of the arc, might try for 3. She does! It glides off the rim, no good. A rebound slapped out of bounds. It stays with Indiana. It's last off Shepard. Thank you for that, by the way, Seth. Yes. Reset timeout available in the last 2 minutes. It is a 15-second timeout, and
which way I can.
No team huddles are available on the reset timeout. It's only used to advance the ball. It's a 15-second timeout. The inbound by Clark for Boston was wrestled away from her by Smith out of bounds. It'll stay with Indiana. Clark to get it in. Again, she does. Mitchell drives in from the left. Oh, banks it up and in! Plus a foul! Kelsey Mitchell with another tremendous play. Got behind Sims. High off the glass and good. Kelsey, a killer. Chance to make it a 2-point game at the foul line. Bends the knees, free throw up, drops it down. 3-point play by Mitchell, 2-point game. Dallas on the inbound, attacking from our left to our right. Bright, vibrant sky blue colored uniforms, white numbers, lime green trim. Taken by Sims, backpedaling to her left. Centered ball, Beckers. Screen comes Smith. Beckers drifts right, on the wing with 5 to shoot. Steps back in the corner. Entry feed Segrets back outside. Beckers needs to put it up. She does it too. It's good! Paige Beckers knocks it down with the shot clock just in front of 0. Beckers has 20. Clark at the other end. Reversal, top of the arc, 3, lifted. Mitchell comes up short. Offensive rebound snagged by Timpson. Then she lost it out of bounds. It's going to Dallas. Stephanie White with her arms outstretched. She disagrees with the call. We look at a replay on our monitor and don't know. In that battle. Dallas inbounds it. Up comes Sims. Leading by 4, the Wings. This is not quite a put-away possession, but if they score here, it'd go a long way in securing their first win of the year! But Sims throws it away! trying to get it into the arms of Agunbowale, who could not squeeze it. Inbound quickly to Clark. Indiana is in the bonus. Would go to the foul line with any personal foul. Clark outside right, centered ball, top of the arc, taken by Boston, timer at 10. Clark for the ball, gets it on a handoff, looking for space, drives, knocks it inside of the bounce. Boston throws it up wildly and draws a foul. Boston will go to the line with a chance to make it a one-possession game. The foul is on Alana Smith. Indiana, this has been most of the second half for the Fever, clawing back, but not quite getting the lead and keeping it. Boston's first free throw is good. Again, still 2 timeouts left Dallas, 1 timeout left Indiana. Reset available now that we're inside the last 2. Boston misses the free throw, rebounded by Beckers. Boston tried to get it away, and she does! Boston a steal! Lays it in! Incredible sequence! Timeout, Dallas! Boston missed the free throw, but her and Timpson converged on Beckers, and Boston got a steal and lays it right back in. And this is a 1-point game. 1:32 left. Gee whiz.
Wow. Aaliyah Boston. I mean, Lord have mercy. What an effort. Tried to say that normally and it came out punchy too. It tells you how punchy he made it. But anyway, wow. This is just a preview of the rest of the WNBA season. We hope.
Yeah, we're hoping. And what a incredibly high-scoring game this has been. Dallas last year.
You don't get a lot of high score. We read you some of the scores at halftime. You don't get 100s every night like you do in the men's NBA.
Not dueling triple digits. Dallas last year as a team averaged less than 82 points per game. Indiana was at 85. Both teams shot well over 50% from the field in the first half. Dallas had 10 first half threes.
Well, if you're Indiana, you gotta. It's a pick your poison. You got to guard Agunbowale, but that leaves Beckers.
Yeah.
And then vice versa.
Yep. Try to get it in near side front court. Shepherd. She's struggling to get it in. They've already taken 1 5-second call, and they just took another. Indiana will have the ball trying to take the lead.
Got a timeout. You got to know time and place there.
And that came out of a timeout.
I mean, you've got to know the situation. Talk about being completely discombobulated. This, I wonder, is sign of a young team, maybe?
Yeah.
Young teams learning how to finish in close games.
Here's Boston spinning her way to the foul line, backs her way in, shovels it up, glass and rim miss. Rebound Dallas, taken by Shepherd. She was doubled. She lofts an outlet to Agunbowale. Now Dallas with numbers. Agunbowale to Beckers, dished it inside, and Alana Smith scores. Dallas by 3 as we approach the final minute. Clark hits the accelerator, draws a double, kicks near corner, free to fire, Mitchell 3! No! Rebound Dallas! Now it's tied up! Taken away by Clark! They call a jump ball. Clark tied up Shepherd. It'll be a jump ball between those two. Shepherd with a 4-inch height advantage.
Stinking sequence here, Matthew.
Shepherd with a 4-inch height advantage here on Clark. On what will be a pivotal jump ball with Dallas up 3. Under a minute left. It's up, and it's taken by by Jessica Shepherd and Dallas. Beckers will bring it up. The Wings trying to put away the Fever on the road. Becker's a right-handed dribble. Dishes it inside, turning on the right lane line. Smith back to the outside. Odyssey Sims, left elbow, drives on Clark. Fall-away jumper off the glass. It's good! Odyssey Sims with a clutch hit. Timeout, Indiana. Five-point Dallas lead. Indiana takes their final regulation timeout, if you will. They still have the reset available to them. Odyssey Sims. Last 2 or 3 minutes of this game has been a human odyssey. Indiana to trigger it in. Near side front court. Boston gets it in. They need a quick basket. Oh, it's nearly fumbled and lost. Picked back up by Hines Allen. Tossed up wildly. No. Mitchell, an offensive rebound. Somehow puts it in. How in the world did that just happen? Timeout. Dallas. That was one of the stranger things you'll ever see. The inbound by Boston, fumbled by Hines Allen, who went on the deck to regain possession. Then she turned and just threw up a prayer that was not close, but it caromed into the arms of Mitchell underneath the basket, and she put it back up and in. That was quite incredible. 3-point game. To the point that we were just mentioning about this being a high-scoring game, this is the first ever WNBA season opener where both teams have scored over 100 points. I tell you what, we take our talents to the WNBA and all hell breaks loose. Buckle up for the rest of the season. So Dallas just took a timeout. That last Indiana timeout, we're being told, was their reset. So Indiana has a full timeout left, but not the reset. Dallas has only their 15-second reset timeout. Can the Wings get it inbounded cleanly? Yes, they do. Wow, it nearly fumbled, recovered by Shepard, and she is converged on and fouled with 25 seconds left. Lexi Hull was trying to tie it up. Both teams are over the limit, so this will be free throws for Jessica Shepard. So Shepard, first-year Dallas Wing, spent the first 5 years of her career with Minnesota, and while with Minnesota last year, she was only a 54% free throw shooter. She only needs to hit one to make this a two-possession game, but the first one clanks off back rim and misses. One more for Shepard to make it a two-possession game, and the second one is good. A huge free throw make there. Indiana on the trigger end, trailing by 4. Up the floor is Mitchell, off to the left wing, tried to get it to Clark, trailing. The pass knifed out of bounds off the hands of Sims. And with 18 seconds left, it'll stay with the Fever. They just need a quick basket. Does not absolutely have to be a three. Clark gets it in. Mitchell attacks in from the left, dumps it off, right baseline drive, and collapsing to the rim. Timpson lays it in and gets that quick basket. Dallas on the trigger in. And an immediate foul as they got it into Sims with 13 seconds left. Only a second came off the clock. Michaela Timpson with the basket to make it a 2-point game. But now you've got Odyssey Sims, a much better free throw shooter than Jessica Shepard, who was just up there and made one. Sims last year at the line, 78%. What a game she's had. 19 points in her season opener. She averaged 10 last year. First one rattles off. Trying to make it a 3-point game, and if Indiana needs a 3, they've got plenty that can take it, but you know the one they'll be looking for. Second free throw is good. Indiana trails by 3. Up the floor, Mitchell gives it to Boston on the logo. Clark pulls up deep left wing 3 to tie. No! Rebound up for grabs. Dallas has it in the hands of Beckers, and she's fouled with a second to go. Clark got it off. And for only her in this league, that was a good look. But it would not fall as Beckers flew by. Clark let it fly and could not get it to drop. And it's Paige Beckers at the free throw line who could seal a season-opening Dallas win. First free throw, no. It swirls around and misses. Just over a second to go. If Beckers were to miss here and Indiana gets the rebound, they do have a timeout to advance the ball. Beckers misses! Rebound Clark! And a timeout! With 1 4/10 seconds to go. Unbelievable! And the door is still slightly ajar here for Indiana. Now, Clark just missed that 3 where they were able to set it up for her to get one off. This will be much more of a catch and shoot. You could take one dribble, but that would be the most you'd be able to take. Will it be Clark? Will it be Mitchell? They've both scored over 20 points. Dallas won 10 games last year. Their 107 points today has set a franchise record in a season-opening game. Will it be enough to get them to the finish line and win their first game of a new and promising season? Indiana out of timeouts. They've used all their fulls and their reset. Dallas has their reset left. They won't need it, because regulation is going to end right here. The inbound will come from Sophie Cunningham, near side front court. All 4 Fever players are in the backcourt. Now they start to run a football route. Cunningham trying to get it in. She does for Mitchell. She launches at the buzzer, and it comes off the rim, no good. And Dallas has won a thrilling season opener. Clark and Mitchell, each with an opportunity in the final seconds to tie the game with a deep thrusted 3. Neither would fall, and the Dallas Wings pick up 10% of their win total from last year in this season's opening game. Terrific game from Kelsey Mitchell, but she could not get the deep, deep 3 to fall at the buzzer. She ends with 30 points to go along with Boston's 23 and Clark's 20. First time ever in WNBA history a team has had a trio of players score 20 or more in a season opener, but it's not enough to shoot down the Wings. The Wings had their own trio scoring 20+. Agunbawale with 22, Sims and Beckers with 20 each. And Dallas, a force to be reckoned with in the WNBA's 30th anniversary season, Seth. Dallas comes on the road to the incredible environment that is the Fieldhouse in Indianapolis, and they beat the Fever 107-104.
Well, I was obeying the rule. I didn't do a good job of obeying it at first, but then I obeyed the rule of just leaving my mic off unless spoken to at the end of a clutch game. So I didn't get a chance to chime in, but I actually was thinking to myself, I know Clark's your star, if you will, but I would have given Mitchell that look on that last 3, and that's what they did, but it just did not go. And I'll tell you, they learned the hard way. boy, that's a big win for a young Dallas team that is trying to learn how to win these games. Only 10 a year ago, but man, what a way to start off here. And Enrique Agumbawale, dynamite all game, and then Becker's the clutch shot. Amazing game. The W is back, and year 30, our year 1, it's gonna be pretty. Oh, we cussed on here, but this is gonna be pretty damn good.
It's like that the rest of the year. My goodness.
Earlier, the free world light would say, it's gonna be a big effing deal all year long.
Yeah, that was a tremendous game. And a Dallas win that could very well just get the ball rolling for this Dallas franchise this year. And that's a huge victory. It's a tough loss for Indiana, but we know that this team, I mean, listen, if they've got 3 players scoring, if they've got 2 20-point scorers and 1 30-point scorer, they're going to win their share of games. But and we'll see as the season goes on what the defense for this Indiana team looks like. But today, Seth, they did allow Dallas to shoot 59% from the field, and they hit 12 threes. Indiana did not defend the ball overly well today, and they allowed far, far too many transition opportunities. Where are we at here? Dallas ended up with 25 fast break points. That's too many.
Yeah, the defense is a concern, that is for sure. And it puts a damper on the fact that the Fever is 104 points, the most scored in a season opener in franchise history. So, Caitlin Clark did become the fastest player in the history of the WNBA to reach 1,000 points, 250 rebounds, 250 assists. Became the 8th player to hit it within 54 career games. So, good game for her, but just didn't quite get it going from outside and missed the big shot late. And now Indiana goes from there, 1 down, 43 to go. So, yeah, man.
2 of 9. 2 of 9 from 3. Clark today, 7 of 18 from the field. Now, again, the first game back for her in a long time, missing so many games last season. Missed 31 of the 44. So you might have expected it to be a difficult start to Clark's season, but shooting touch wasn't there, but the passing certainly was, with 7 assists. And yeah, a lot of people were thinking that Kelsey Mitchell's season last year was only because of the injuries, specifically to Caitlin, but clearly she has shown that she is still a force to be reckoned with. Yeah, really, really fun game to start our season, Seth. It's a very strange sight on my screen now of Mark Davis and Tom Brady in the middle of the floor to celebrate the Aces banner raising. Didn't have that one on the bingo card, but here we are.
That's just how the cookie crumbles sometimes, I guess. Mark Davis with a face only a mother could love. A hairdo that I think would have been outdated in the 1960s.
That'll do it for us, Seth. You want to send us out?
Yeah, we did too badly, but apparently though I made a mistake there by your tone of voice. So yeah, we'll get it out of here. Dallas wins it 107-104. Don't forget tonight, Carolina and Philadelphia in the hockey playoffs. IndyCar from the Indy Grand Prix coming up later today as well. Cup Series at Watkins Glen. SVG's on pole. He tries not to say anything to drive the audience away. And now the Wings win it 107-104. For Matthew Owens, for JT, who was here for Fibes.
Hello. Goodbye.
Remember your